Hydroponics uses plants growing in water instead of soil so they can get their nutrition directly from the water instead of having to extract it from the dirt. This leads to faster growing plants, better yields, fewer bugs, and less risk of disease or contamination from pesticides. Setting up a hydroponics system can be tricky, with beginners experiencing crop failures, creating unnecessary work for themselves or wasting money on unneeded equipment. So in this video we'll discuss the basic elements of an indoor hydroponics system. We'll cover grow lights, soil-free mediums, water and nutrient dispersion techniques, nutrient solutions and automated nutrient mixing. We'll also cover beginner-friendly all-in-one solutions, and provide a list of local SA suppliers to make your shopping process easier. There are three main groups of grow lights that you can use to grow plants indoors: fluorescent, high-intensity discharge and LED lights. The big difference between fluorescent and HID lights is the amount of energy they use. Fluorescent lights are much more efficient than HID, but they also don't put out as much light. HID lights are more powerful because they use electricity to heat a gas that glows brightly. This means that you will have to use more electricity to power an HID light than a fluorescent one. There are four types of HID that you may want to consider: mercury vapor, metal halide, high-pressure sodium and xenon. Xenon produces the brightest light of all. The third and newest option, LED lights, use less electricity and last the longest. They also produce less heat, which may be an advantage in a small indoor growth area. However, LED crop yields are not quite as high as HID lights. In one study, various lettuce cultivars exposed to HID had slightly greater yield. In some locations the higher temperatures of HID may also be preferable. Next we need to consider the growing medium. The growing medium is the stuff that your plants will actually be growing in. In a soil garden, this is the soil, but in hydroponics, you don't need soil at all. You can use any growing medium in hydroponics as long as it can hold water, which is why soilless growing mediums like vermiculite, perlite, or even sand are common choices. Vermiculite is a mineral that expands when it gets wet and makes a great growing medium for hydroponics because it holds moisture well, it's easy to clean, and it's very lightweight. In this picture large chunks are shown, but it is typically ground down into smaller pieces by suppliers. Perlite comes from volcanic eruptions. It's lightweight like vermiculite, but it doesn't expand and drains water more readily. On their own, these characteristics might be undesirable, so usually you would want to mix vermiculite and perlite. A 50-50 ratio is a good place to start. Next up, watering systems. There are two main types of watering systems that you can use to grow plants in hydroponics: the nutrient film technique, NFT, or the ebb and flow system. Nutrient film technique is the more basic of the two approaches. As the name suggests, a thin film of nutrients slowly flows over the roots. With this method, your plants are grown in a tray of growing medium, usually perlite. The plants are submerged in a channel of water that slowly trickles down from the top of the tray. When the water reaches the bottom of the tray, it is pumped back up to the top to start the process again. The ebb and flow system is a little more complex. As the name suggests, it alternates between flooding and draining cycles. In this system, you'll grow your plants in pots or holders, but the pots will be placed inside a tray full of growing medium. There is a slowly trickling fountain at the bottom of each pot that will slowly fill the pot with water, which will be used by the plant. When the water reaches a certain level, it will drain back out of the pot to start the process again. Now let's talk about nutrient solutions. This is the solution that you will use to water your plants. It will contain some combination of water, nutrients, and a pH adjuster to make sure that the solution is the right acidity. Hydroponics-specific solutions must be used for hydroponics. You will want to make sure that the solution you're using has the right amounts of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium for your type of plants. Lastly, let's talk about automated nutrient dosers and mixers, sometimes referred to as controllers. Dosing and mixing can be a pain. For example, you could easily have 9 different solutions to measure out and mix, and so automation saves time. While not strictly needed, it may be worthwhile considering if you produce on a larger scale. Such systems have a pump and dosers that are hooked up to a timer. Doses of different nutrients are automatically added to the water at different times and mixed. Now that we have covered the basics of what you'll need, here is a tip. The easiest option if you are a beginner, is to buy an all-in-one system. These systems are designed to work indoors. They have timers for lighting, and keep the water moving. However, you may need to add nutrients yourself. Some systems may already include bottles of pre-mixed nutrients. Note that the seeds and pods are often not included with such systems due to regulations. For instance, the iDOO system, with space for 12 pods, linked in the description below the video. It has auto-pollinating fan, auto water pump and auto timer, with adjustable height. It also looks good in your home or office. It currently retails for $69.69 plus a $57.31 shipping and import fees deposit, to ship to South Africa. Another reasonably priced system is the OMOTE, which features space for 12 pods, claims a silent auto pump system, auto lights and different growth modes. This currently retails for $80.99, with an estimated shipping and import deposit of $40 to ship to South Africa.